What's up, guys? As you see by the title, we are going to be editing my clients' videos from front to back. Here it's going to be raw. You guys are going to get to learn a bunch of things. Now, before we get started, I am about to say a couple of knowledgeable things to know before we get into this video. But if you are someone who doesn't want to wait and want to, get to learning, skip to this part right here, and that will take you to when I start. First things first, will you be learning anything? If you apply this knowledge, you can learn a lot from this video. This video is going to be showcasing my skills, my workflow. Now, I'm not necessarily going to be teaching you throughout the whole process, but I am going to be showing you guys how I work. And obviously, if you decide to take that advice, then you can. Now, if you are someone who is wanting to get into video editing, this video is a great start. Now, some of this stuff may be advanced. What you can learn is the basics of video editing, like chopping up on beat, making sure everything flows together, all that stuff. But anyways, guys, let's get straight into this video. I'm going to be going in depth on how I edit a video front to back. It's going to be raw. You're going to see exactly how I work. Now, listen, this may be boring. I'm not saying it's going to be entertaining, but if you are really wanting to learn how to become a video editor and be saucy, this is the video for you right now, I promise. Let's get it. Another thing I like to do is time myself to see how long I'm working for and how much I got paid. I got paid around $100 per video for this client. We did a big package deal, and I'm just going to see how long it takes me to do per video so that I can average out and see how much money I'm making per hour of work. So anyways, it is about, if you see there, 4 o'clock. We're going to get straight into it. My goal is to be done by 5 o'clock. If not, no big deal.
If you already have a handful of clients,
So for those of you who are a little confused, I didn't show the beginning, but what I did do was to get it to a vertical, you have to go to project settings and change these to 1080 and then 1920. It usually will be flipped around. So that's what I did. And then this is my client's music that I use for every one of his videos. And basically what I did to break that down is I go into the soundtrack and I keep it on sound 2. And you're not going to put anything else on that soundtrack. That is strictly for the music. You aren't going to put any sound effects on it, nothing. And basically because we're adding effects to it and we don't want our sound effects to have the effects on it. So I added I added a band 6 here, and then I also added some reverb, and it gets it sounding way better than the actual music did. And if you're wondering where I got my music, I use splice.com. It's for, mainly producers, but they have really good loops that you can use. And yeah, that's what I use.
if you already have a handful of clients, for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used.
So since this audio is way too quiet, a no-brainer, obviously we want to turn it up, but be careful on this because you want to make sure you're turning it up correctly.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and if you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy. What I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients without having to do. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. So if you want to know more, without having to do any cold outreach. So if you want to know more, on how to implement this, for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel. So if you want to know more on how to implement, so if you want to know more on how to implement this, so if you want to know more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel. So if you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. So if you want to know more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel. If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, if you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach.
So something I just realized that his mic has a static kind of wind noise to it. So to fix this, what we're going to do is we are going to take it to Adobe Podcast. It's completely free. You just need to have an account. All right, so this is what it looks like. This is the interface. You basically just drop your files, and basically all it does is just enhance the quality through AI. It's still a beta, so it is free, but I could see it being a paid account or a thing, obviously, in the future. So it does take around, boom, just like that, it's finished already. But it does give you an example. So it says here you can use 90% strength. So we're just going to listen to it and see if it sounds any better.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. If you want to know,
so that's the difference right there. I'm actually going to turn it down just a little bit.
More on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel.
Because it sounds a little AI-y. So I'm probably going to turn it down to 75.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. So if you want to know more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel.
All right, so once it's downloaded, we're just going to replace this audio with it as well.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. So if you want to know more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel.
So this is actually a really easy reel. You know, usually reels that take a longer time are the ones that are 50 seconds. I mean, this is 13 seconds. You know what I mean? So, like, this really isn't going to take that long.
if you already if you already if you already have a if you already have a if you already have if you if you already if you already if you already have a handful of clients for your agency.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna turn that off for this.
If you already have a handful of if you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that per month. Towards that 30K. And you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, and you're looking to scale. Right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark. What have you? Mark, what have you to do? Mark, what have you to do just? Mark, what have you to do? Mark, what have you to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. If one of them want how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel. If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority. That is something called the niche authority funnel. Authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale. Authority funnel. Essentially.
All right, so for those of you who are confused on what I just did, I'm basically recycling the animation that I made from his previous video. He said the same exact 3 words, and I basically did the exact same animation. So just because I did that, I am going to feel generous and go ahead and teach you guys how I did that. So I have this layer below here, right here, and it is a background that I got for free off Instagram, and it's pretty cool. You know, I use it in all my clients' videos. It's like kind of, you know, something I use. And then you grab a text plus, Gotham. I use Gotham Ultra. Then you come to shading, and then you apply a red outline right here. And then you turn the thickness all the way up, and then it's going to be red, so you turn it black. All right. Then we're just going to take this into Fusion. Make sure you're selected over that. All right. And then this is where it really becomes, you know, this is where it really becomes, yeah. We're going to get rid of that. So basically, we're going to apply a glow, and that makes that glow effect right there happen. And then this is my settings for my glow right here. You don't want it to be too over the top, you know. Then you add a drop shadow. I like to turn the blur all the way down, and what it does is it adds a really nice hint to it. So if you see that right there is what it does to it. So I turn the blur all the way down. This is the blur all the way up. It's just a shadow. But if you turn it all the way down, it's basically like, you know, it's a part of the text. I mean, because it is, you know. That's what I did. You turn the shadow strength up however much you want. I kind of like it light like that. This is the sauce right here. So you're going to add a transform node, which is right here. And essentially what you're going to do is set a keyframe, and you just make sure it's off the frame before you set the keyframe. Go up. I did about, you know, a couple frames, and then make it to where it's at that point that you want it to be at. So that's where I wanted it to be at. So I added it there. And then what we did next was, because it was just a flat out just animation, we went to the spline, we check marked this, hit fit to zoom, you highlight them both. So you do that, boom, press the S, and then what I like to do is drag this out a little bit more like that so that it creates a cooler animation, whatever, totally up to you. And then the secret sauce, obviously motion blur, you want to get that motion blur effect to make it look realistic. And then basically I did that for the niche authority. So he said authority, so I did that for the authority as well. Make sure you're doing this on as he says it too, so it makes sense. I might have to go up and switch the keyframes around a little bit. But then you're going to add, what I did was I added this funnel. And what I did to the funnel was quite simple. I found a funnel on Canva. You can do the same thing, or Google, whatever you want to do. And it's basically the same thing, you're going to add glow, drop shadow, transform, motion blur. Same exact thing. But the sauce here is that the drop shadow you leave as is, because it creates this cool effect right here. It creates it almost like as it is a real shadow, rather than the one look like it was a part of the text, you know what I mean? So that was how I did that. Same style, and then you come up with this.
Something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients.
And then obviously you add an overlay.
Funnel. It's how I help all.
You can get any overlay you want wherever, it really honestly doesn't matter. But I did realize that this was a little too loud, so I'm going to turn it down. This stuff is really not that hard, I mean, this may seem like gibberish to you, but it's really not that hard.
What I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. Funnel.
Okay, so we're going to come over here to effects. We're going to add an adjustment layer right here. Now, since this video is going to be a little shorter, I'm going to start giving out some more sauce. I thought this was going to be a longer video, but apparently not. So we're going to add an adjustment layer just over this clip, and then I have this plugin right here, completely free, by the way. It's called Magic Zoom. Add it to the top, and then we're probably just going to do a zoom and hold. We're going to scale this up just a bit. You take this, drag it to him, make sure your Fusion overlay is on, and then what you want to do is come down to camera shake, turn that up, and then turn the speed scale up.
It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy.
Maybe a little too much.
It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach.
And then we're just going to copy that over like this, and then we're going to bring it to the end of the clip. You don't have to do it necessarily to the end of the clip at all times, but this time I'm going to hit mirror. So
if you want to know more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel.
Boom, just like that.
If you already have a...
And the thing about my client with his ads is he doesn't like his ads too advanced to editing, so I'm not going to do entirely too much. Right now we have a really solid workflow going so far, and we are going to be wrapping this up soon. That's how quick this took. I mean, it's only a 13-second video.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency, right?
So now to give that effect, that zoom out effect a little more, in my hard drive, we're going to just go ahead and go to my sound effects. And I have a whole bunch of sound effects here. If you guys want this, I will give you this folder for free. No joke. If you want this and you're seriously, truly want to get into editing, I will send you everything I have for completely free. You just got to DM me on Instagram, and I got to just make sure you're not going to run with my shit and sell it. But other than that, bro, like, for sure, DM me. So we're just going to look for a sound effect that fits the thing. So I found one. We're going to bring it over here, and
if you already have a...
And since if you see in the frequency, the loud starts, what we're going to do is we're going to come here, we're going to change the speed, reverse speed, boom, just like that. And then we're going to cut it here because it gets loud right there, bring it to the top. But obviously that sounds like boo-boo, right? So we're just going to turn that shit down a little bit, and then, even add another one to sell the effect, really. So I like this one a lot, and really you may think this isn't gonna fit, but in all, if you just overlay this shit, bro, it all compounds. So I'm just gonna bring this over, and then we'll cut that short because it's really just to sell that effect, and we'll turn it down a little bit.
If you already have a handful of clients for...
So now it gives that subtle, deep effect.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, if you already have a...
Alright, so we're going to add one more effect here. And people. So what we're doing here in Canva is a 500 by 500 frame. I just keep it at all times for any video I want to edit.
If you already have a handful of
so since we have a handful of clients, what we're going to do,
we have a handful
cut that there.
Clients for agency right now.
Cut that there, right? Take this into the color tab. You do need the Pro for what I'm about to do, but we're going to go to Magic Mask and we're going to turn on Better and just subject him out and his mic and his laptop and all this stuff down here. Just do that, boom, get his hair, boom, let it load, and then you want to turn down you want to turn on this option right here so that you can see what you're actually doing. As you can see, it does a really good job. You know, sometimes you have to go out and edit it and stuff, but this is doing perfect. So what we're going to do down here is just going to hit the track button. It's going to do it. If you turn on Better, it's going to take a little longer because it's literally enhancing it. But instead, if you want to do it faster, you can if you're on a fast pace, but honestly, bro, it's like a couple minute different. It really doesn't matter. You can just chill on your phone or work on some other stuff, whatever it may be. I mean, look, this is going to take a minute. All right, so we're going to double click add alpha point, add the blue to the alpha point. We're going to come here, and as you can see, his cut out. But I made a rookie mistake, so I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to take it into the color, and we're just going to delete these because we were not supposed to do that. That was a no-no. Take the subject of him outlined up above, and then I would just keep it there so that you have a space in between. And then what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to go back in Canva and we're going to add this effect right here. All right, now it's behind him. What do we do? You know what I mean? So this is what we're going to do, actually. We're going to take this over and...
Clients for agency.
So we're going to bring this up. And scale it down like that. Make sure it fits on the screen. Double click, do compound, create. Go into Fusion. We're going to add a glow. Mess around with this till we like it, Don't want to do too much. And we're going to add a drop shadow. And then we're going to add a transform node.
Clients for agency right now.
So what we're going to do here is go to the transform node and take this keyframe down like that, and then also the size a little bit. Come up to like frame 20, 25 maybe. Bring the size back up. Bring it up. And then you can even scale it up if you want. Like that. So it fits the screen, then you know what to do. Spline, baby. We're gonna boom.
Clients for agency.
So now you see it has a smooth motion, and then we're gonna obviously add a little bit of motion blur just to sell the effect even more. Okay.
Clients for agency.
So now you see it's over him, so you literally just grab this clip and put it back over there, and then now it looks something like this. Okay, that's about it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add a magic zoom to this clip as well. And then we're going to add just zoom and hold, turn down the zoom just a little bit, and then we're going to bring it down like right here. And then obviously add some camera shake. Boom. And then another thing we're going to add is a magic animate. We're just basically going to take this away because we didn't do it. So we add magic animate, and what we're going to do here is we're going to do whip, and we're going to do out. We're going to do 0.2, and now it should just whip out.
Clients for agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30.
So you really just got to let it load because it is a big effect, and if you don't have the computer for it, you will crash your computer. So don't be dumb. So just let your computer load. Don't overload it. Sometimes it does crash. I'm not gonna lie, it might crash because we're only running an M2 right now. So wouldn't be surprised.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now.
So the red part right there, it just basically means that it's not loaded yet. And to get to the loading part, you just need to go to playback, render cache, or actually just render cache, and then turn on smart. Okay.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now and you're looking to...
So you see how it comes out like that. But the only problem I see right now is if you see as it's now, it's like cut off. I don't like that. So what we're going to do actually is just go ahead and delete that and manually do it. We're going to keep that. We're going to come back over here. Boom, boom. We're going to actually just save ourselves a headache and just do it again. Under the transform 1, add a transform 2. Take out the splice. Under the transform 2, you want to basically come, towards the end, set a keyframe, and then go all the way to the end of the video, and then send it up like that. Okay, boom. Now that it's like that, you just go to spline. Don't even select the 1, only select 2. Boom, curve it up like that. My secret sauce. The motion blur is still on it because it's after the number 1 and 2. So now you have an effect where it goes up like that. So now we don't have to worry about it cutting off or anything. So now what we're going to also do is we're going to add some more. We're going to add it's called a multi-point camera tracker 1. So basically we're just going to come to the beginning and put it like right in the middle maybe. Turn off edit mode and timing assistant and then just see what this looks like. Now I'm not 100% positive I'm going to keep this, but we're going to let that load and then we're going to see what it looks like. If I don't end up liking it, then I'll take it off. A lot of this stuff is just trial and error. And something I will say is if you're an editor and you don't try new things, then you're never going to level up as an editor, All right, so effects done loading. We're just going to see what it looks like.
You have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking for clients for your agency right now, and you have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale.
I think it looks good. We're just probably going to end up keeping it. It's something new. I haven't really done that much effects on one thing, but we're going to keep it. I'm kind of fucking with it.
Scale past that towards that 30K per month mark. What I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help.
So we're going to add a little bit more effects to sell this, just to make it sound better. So again, we're going to come into my sound effect pack. Sometimes in my pack, I can't find something specifically that I need, so I just go back on Splice and I find something that I like. See, I like that, and what I do is I just add it back to my pack, And I'm paying per sound effect too. It's not cheap. So what we're gonna do here is just sell this effect, honestly. So we're gonna make sure we know when it comes in. So right. Maybe just a little bit back. Turn it down.
Called the niche.
Perfect. And then we're just going to duplicate it and bring it.
Authority. Funnel. It's called the niche authority funnel.
So it does sound repetitive, It doesn't sound bad, but it sounds repetitive. I'm no sound design artist, expert, but I would definitely like to add some
the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my...
It doesn't sound bad. It doesn't look bad either. I'm just going to add something over the top of it all. And what I'd like to do in my shit is add robot noises. So that may sound really dumb, but I promise it sounds pretty dope. Believe it or not, I'm actually about to add that song and interpret it into this video, I promise.
Without having to do any hold up.
That little sound right there can just go over the whole entire thing. I think that would sound really cool. So just like over this, and then obviously you turn it down.
Called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help.
So you mix it a little.
Called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help. Niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my... Funnel. It's how I help all my clients get like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. If one of them more on how to do this for your agency, if one of them more any cold outreach. If one of them more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel. If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. So if you want to know more on how to do this for your agency, if you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like if you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. So if you want to know more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel. Right now, then DM.
Now, when they say DM me the word whatever, I usually like to do something exotic. So we're gonna try and we're gonna use the same text, make sure it's nice and big, capitalized, shading, red outline, max, turn the red to black. Looks like fucking booty right now, don't it? So we're gonna go to here. We're gonna add some glow, turn it up a little bit, get that effect rolling. Then we're gonna add a drop. Remember, turn that all the way down. Turn the strength up however much you want. Put it like right there, drop angle like right there. Boom, funnel looking mad juicy right now. So I don't think we really need, I don't know yet. We're gonna have to figure this out.
For your agency right now, then DM me the word agency right now, then DM me the word funnel. The word funnel.
So I think what we're gonna do is just end up doing the same thing we normally do. Keyframe, boom, 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 boom. 0.5. Actually, 0.5. Boom. Spline's already selected. Highlight, smooth, boom, boom. See how
the word funnel. The word funnel. Out, then DM me the word funnel.
See, that looks fine. I can get around to using that. I think what we're going to do here now is just a right-on effect. So we're going to keep it, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just write it on like that.
The word funnel.
So now as you see, it's like writing on kind of. But I think what we're going to do instead is do it a little bit further. Like that, So this is why it's cool, because as it's zooming out, that's coming up, creating a really cool effect. So I think we can add some sound effects there. And I like to reuse sound effects. So I'm literally just going to copy and paste these over here, see how that sounds.
The word funnel.
Boom, just like that.
The word funnel. DM me the word funnel. Then DM me the word funnel.
Boom. All right, I mean, I think we're looking good so far.
If you already have a handful of clients.
So now what I think we're going to do is just add something that I made for my client a really long time ago. Yeah. So I made this for my client a decent time ago. It's just his tag, his Instagram tag. So I added a green screen to it, and I made this in Canva. I made just like this cool paper effect. To do this, it's just so easy. Delta keyer, key that out, and then it'll animate around. As you see right here, just animating around, We don't need it that long. We're just going to add it to the beginning of the video.
If you already have it.
So it looks like an ass. We're going to rotate it like that. And I don't know if you guys see those lines right there, but I hate it when it does this. Just going to get rid of those really quick. Just like that. Lines are gone. We're going to put it down just a little bit and kind of make it like a lower third almost. All right, before we animate anything, what we're going to do is add this as a compound clip and then go into the effects here and then add my magic zoom, zoom and holds, and then just put it like right there maybe. And then obviously the shake, definitely want some shake in there. And then We could also add a multi-point tracker if we want, low key. Put it right there, edit, boom. If we do end up doing that, we need to make it look a little better. Definitely just come here and turn the zoom down, definitely. So yeah, we're just gonna let that load. And then I have a couple ideas of what I want to do to that text.
Already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you look. If you already have.
So it comes in like sideways. I really like that. So what we're gonna do to really sell this effect is, since we already had that added, so now it's down there. That's what making the compound clip does, is puts it down here instead of in the middle of the screen. We're gonna add a transform node. Basically, just come over here to 0, put it not down. We're gonna actually do sideways. Okay, keyframe it. I'm actually gonna turn it down to keyframe both. Go up, 10, 15. Take this back to 0.5, and then take this back to 1.
Already have a handful.
And then the effect will just instantly start happening. So like we said, again, just deselect the size. You don't want to select the size, trust me. Just this for now. And then obviously do our secret sauce here. Bring that over like that. Trust me, guys, this is a game changer, I promise. And then undo that. We can add this if we want, and then just fuck with this low key. Just like that. Okay. Now we're gonna do a magic animate. Magic animate whip out 0.2, because if we do 1, it would take way too long. Now we're gonna let that load again, because this shit is like hella effects on this one event right here. And then we're almost gonna be done. I'm really gonna give some free game here at the end. So stay till the end, trust me. All right, effect loaded. This is what we're working with here.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale.
I really fuck with that a lot. So now to just sell this paper effect, we're honestly gonna have to add some paper noises. Paper, we're just gonna go splice and look up paper.
I don't want to rush anything either, but if 4K is good now, 4K
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency, if you already have a handful of clients for your
We're gonna add some static. Now this effect, it may sound like it doesn't even need to be in the video, but I swear to you, watch this. We're just gonna keep the beginning like that. And that's gonna go in the very beginning, because that is a very important part. Turn it down.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency, if you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that right now, and you're looking to scale now, and you're looking to scale past now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark. What I've used to do just that is something called the niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. If you want to know more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel. The word funnel.
Guys, we just finished up everything, just about everything. We are almost close to done. It is, you guys can't see the saturation, but 454. That's not bad. That's an hour-long video, and I did heavy on the effects for this video. It's like damn near an effect every single second, So here's my sauce, guys. Timeline, create subtitles, And then we're going to probably do them at like 15. Okay, create. Sit back and watch AI do the work for you because you are no longer going to have to do captions. Also, guys, if you like these DZKZ shirts, let me know. I will drop them. These are an exclusive shirt, but if you guys really fuck with them, then I will get them for you. This is the back. So it says media. Let me know if you guys want those, because if you do, I will easily sell them to you guys.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what I've used to do just that is something called the...
So what we're going to do here is we're just going to cut out everything we don't need.
Something called the
niche authority funnel. We don't need that, right? Because we already did an external
niche authority funnel. It's how I help all my clients scale like crazy without having to do any cold outreach. So if you want to know more on how to do this for your agency right now, then DM me the word funnel.
All right, so take out the funnel. Now that we have that complete, this is where it's going to get really tricky for you guys. I have another plugin downloaded. It's called Snap Captions. Captions look like ass cheeks right now. So we're going to add the Snap Captions bin to my master bin. We're going to come up here to Workspaces, Console, Scripts, Comp, Snap Captions. It's going to pull up my external thing I have here. And I actually have a preset for my client, Jeremy. His name's Jeremy. I have a template that I made. All uppercase, remove punctuation, and then we're going to keep this at 10 frames, and it's going to generate our captions for us. Now, guys, this is a game changer. You guys are really going to want to add this to the thing, because I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. Watch this.
If you already...
So as you can see, it generated the titles for me to where it has this glow effect, and I did it in my client's special text that I made for him. So I have a railway, and then I have it at a medium and italic, so it's nice and thin, and added a juicy glow to it, as well as a drop shadow. Now, I literally just made that as a template. No effects to it, literally just as is.
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now,
and I made it in the middle, if I need to scale it up, I can go in here and manually change it. What's great about this is it's basically making an external caption. So as you can see here, they're green and they're text pluses. So right now I could literally just change this if I wanted to,
If you already have a handful of clients for your agency right now, and you're looking to scale past that towards that 30K per month mark, what have you...
So that's basically it, guys. I'm going to send this over to my client for review. If he wants to change anything, he will be as one revision. So that's what I do for my clients. I just basically have them one revision. And guys, if you want to work with me, you're a business owner who made it this far. I doubt you're a business owner who made it this far. But if so, good job, good job. But if you want to work with me, just DM me or book a scheduled call in my bio. I will gladly talk to you in a one-on-one strategy call discussing your needs and what you want specifically done. For all my future clients out there, this is not cheap. These types of videos is $100 per video. This is a higher end client. Yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm about to export this. It took actually exactly an hour to complete, even though it was a 13-second video. That just shows how much care I put into my client's video. And I'm going to send this off for review, like I said. But listen, guys, make sure you subscribe. If you guys learned anything, let me know down below what you learned. And if you guys are a better editor than me and you guys got some advice for me and you think I could do anything faster, let me know, because I will take all the advice I can, But anyways, guys, peace out. Thank you for watching. If you watch it this far, you're going to go far if you watch it this far, because you're going to learn a lot, But anyways, guys, peace out. Subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Share it to all your friends, your grandma. Peace.